Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, or welcome back to my channel, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we're going to be looking through kind of the series that I'm in the middle of, give you a bit of an update on where we got from the start of the year, because at the start of the year we were in the middle of 48 series, which is just insane. So I'm going to give you a bit of an update on kind of where I'm at with them, what series I've finished, what series I'm in the middle of, and what series I'm excited to get to. So to give you a bit of a rundown, we started the year at, I've got my laptop here to kind of give us a rundown for us. We started the year with 48 series on our TBR. We are now at 31, so we've knocked off 17. We've either knocked them off or maybe DNF'd them, or there's a new book coming out, say, later this year. So I'm going to start with the top on my little list, and I start from the series that I've got the most books left in, and we go down to, then I can tell you the ones I finished. So the first series I'm in the middle of is, I'm either in the middle of or I've not started, but I've got the books too. So this series is Annie Valentine. This series has 7 books in them, and I haven't read any. So I'm hoping to, because it's got 7 books left to read, it's not one that's on my radar as getting to soon, because obviously that's quite a few books to try and get through before the end of the year when we want to get us down to 10 or less. However, if you guys haven't seen it already, my TBRs for the next few months are going to be slightly different, and I'm going to be using a spinner wheel to choose my TBR. And so if I get this series on my spinner wheel, then it could mean that we focus on this one and try and get that one down. So that could be fun. Our next series we've got is Noughts and Crosses, which has 6 books in the series, and I have read none of them. At the point of filming, I am listening to book number 1 of the series, so by the time this video is out I should have listened to it and read it, but obviously at the time of filming I haven't. Books 1 to 5 are available on Libby, so my audiobook library app, and so I'm hoping to get those 5 books done relatively soon over the next few months, maybe try and get 1 in a month, and then that should mean that I should hopefully knock this series off by the end of the year. My third series is Sunrise Cove. This series has 7 books in, and I have read 1 of them. This isn't a series, and we've got another book coming out in June. This isn't a series I'm necessarily dying to pick up straight away. They aren't available on Kindle, and they aren't available from my library or my library app, so I would have to try and find them within a library or buy them. I really enjoyed the book that I did read called The Bright Spot, and I found out it's in a series, and I read that book so quickly, so easily on holiday, so I did want to see what the series was about. Again, this isn't a series I'm itching to pick up. I've still got 6 books to read in June. By that time it'll go up to 7. I've still got quite a few books left to read of this series. It's not a series I'm dying to get to. However, I wouldn't be sad if I got to it. And I think that's the same for all of the series. I wouldn't be sad if I got any of them in my kind of spinner wheel, because I have whistled through and I have got rid of a couple, which I'm just like, I don't want to read anymore. So then we have the Never After series. This series has 6 books in there, and I have read none. I'm very excited to get to this series. I have the first book on my 25 to read in 2025, so I will be getting to the series at some point. It's not one which I'm like, I'm going to try and knock off by the end of the year, because obviously 6 books are quite a lot, and when I've got some series where I've only got 1 or 2 books left to read, they're going to be the series that I'm going to try and focus on. I know I'm leaving it a little bit up to fate with the spinner wheels, but when I get kind of free time to read or my mood reading, I'm focusing more on the series that only has like 1 or 2 books left in it. Okay, and then our next series is the I Heart series, which we've got here on the TBR card. That's an 8-book series. I have read 3 of those 8 books, and actually I have a further 3 on my 25 to read in 2025, so I should get a good chunk of the way through that series this year. I'm not necessarily going to be focusing on finishing it, because the 6th book is a Christmas book, and so therefore I'm not going to be picking that up until at least November. So I'm not necessarily convinced that I'm going to finish then I Heart Christmas, I Heart Forever, and I Heart Hawaii between November and the end of December, but we will see. I might do. I do really enjoy the books. At times they are quite quick, easy reads, and so I wouldn't complain finishing that one by the end of the year. Our next series is The Vancouver Agitators, and that has 5 books in the series. I haven't picked up any of those. They are all available on Kindle Unlimited. They sound like really cute or spicy sports romance, I am really excited to get to this series. I've heard some good things about it, and it is one that I would actually really enjoy to get on the spinner wheel because it is Kindle Unlimited as well. It's ideal for when I go on holiday and just to try and like binge through the books. Our next series is Magnolia Parks. Now, if you've watched my TBR spinner wheel or my TBR video for this month, you'll see that that was one that I got on my spinner wheel. And this has 5 books in the series, and at the moment I haven't read any of them. Obviously, for the month of June, I will be focusing on that series. It's one of my 2 that I'll be focusing on. So I'm hoping to try and get maybe not all 5 done because they're quite long books, but at least get a good 1 or 2, maybe even 3 done by the end of the month, and that should be really fun and interesting. Our next series is Tattered and Torn. This is kind of a small town yeehaw romance by Catherine Cowles. Not many people have read it, not many people have heard of it, but it's got a mystery subplot, and I really enjoyed book 1, never picked up book 2. So this series has 5 books in it. I've read 1, I've not continued on the series. I'm hoping to continue on this series soon, and that's another one that I would really like to potentially finish by the end of the year. They're quite easy reads, which makes it a nicer experience. So I'm hoping to get through that this year. My next series is Caravel, and in it there's 4 books and I have read none of them. I have got a reading vlog this month coming out with Caravel, the book 1 in, and so hopefully by the time you're watching this I will have read it, because I'm pretty sure that reading vlog comes out soon after this one goes live, and so hopefully I will have already read it by the time you're watching this and we will have started the series. But that series intimidates me because of it being a fantasy romance, so I'm not necessarily itching to pick that one up. I'm very excited to start it, but I don't own book 2. I own books 1 and books 3 maybe, or maybe I do own book 1 and 2. I don't know. I tend to buy them when the books are on like a Kindle offer and they're like 99p rather than paying full price for them. So I've kind of been buying them when I see them come up with that. Then the next series is the Dream Harbour series. At the moment there's only 4 books in the series, however there is a new one coming out in September. I have read 1 of those books and I have 3 left to read. I've got those 3 on hold on Libby, so I'm hoping, very hopeful, that I will be able to have listened to them by the end of the year. I should have. I'm in where I am in the queue, in the line for the queue. I should get to them, hopefully a few more in the summer, and then if not by the end of the year, and then hopefully I will get into the queue relatively early for the last book as well, which should mean that I can listen to them quite quickly. A couple of them are available on Kindle Unlimited, so if I'm getting that itch I can go and read them that way. But I did really enjoy the narration for book 1, or I read The Christmas Tree Farm, which is technically book 3. I did really enjoy the audiobook narration of that one, and I think they're quite an easy palate cleanser to listen to whilst doing other things, so I aim to listen to them moving forward. Our next series is One of Us is Lying. I've actually got this book here. This series has 3 books in. I haven't read any of them. I have just pulled One of Us is Lying for my TBR this month, so hopefully I will have started it. And then book 2 actually is available as an audiobook, so I'm hoping to get through this series soon-ish. I'll start it this month and then we'll see what happens. I'm very excited to pick it up. I've had some mixed things. It's a YA mystery, so I don't know what to expect, but I do love a mystery. I do love like a thriller, mystery, paranormal kind of unknown. So that should be really interesting. And then we've got the Avalon Bay series by Elle Kennedy. This has 3 books in and I haven't read any. I'm hesitant to have this book or have this series on here because I know I've got a few series on there which I have not started, but I've heard so many good things about them that I'm happy to have them on there. However, the Avalon Bay series or the Elle Kennedy books, I've heard so many mixed things about, so I'm definitely not going to be hesitant to, and I think that's with any of the series which I haven't actually started, I'm not going to be hesitant to read the first book and go, actually I don't want to read it. I don't want to go into the series and DNF them, so I'm not hesitant against that, but I'm kind of apprehensive to go into this series. If I don't get to this series this year, I'm not going to be upset about it. However, if I get it in one of my spinner wheels, I'm happy to give it a go and trial it. Our next series we got is the Waterview series. This is an indie series published by a couple of authors which I follow on Instagram. I not know hardly anything about this series. I just am very intrigued to, I like the kind of the reels and the promotion that they've been given for the series and for the different books, and so it's really intrigued me, and so I really want to get to this series. I haven't picked it up yet, but I did win the second book in a giveaway at one point, so I do own that one physically at home, and I'm very excited to get to it. I'm just waiting for that moment to kind of come. My next one is the Brown Sisters trilogy. I have read book 1, and so I've got 2 more left to read. I really enjoyed book 1. I thought it was a really easy kind of vibe. I listened to book 1 on audibly, and I did enjoy that experience, and so potentially I might pick up books 2 and 3 that way as well, but I did like it. I liked the disability or the chronic illness rep, as well as the male main character just understanding that and being there for her and being like the king that he is. The next series that I'm in the middle of is Kiss Quotient. I have read book 1, and then I've got books 2 and 3 left to go. This one is very autism, neurodivergent based, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a really fun read for me because I have a lot of experience with autism and ADHD, being an SEN teacher myself, so it's quite nice to see how some of the traits are portrayed in a book form, and especially in romance, because a lot of the time people are hesitant to understand that. Our next series is The Summer. This is a very smutty, cheesy, cozy rom-com series. It has 5 books in it. I've read 3, I've got the other 2 to go. This is a series which I want to pick up the next book, however I never think of it. It's always one which when I think about the series or I see it on the tracker, I'm like, oh, they're easy reads and I can get to them. However, when I go, oh, what should I pick up next, or what books do I want to include in a video, this is never one that I kind of gravitate towards, so I'm hoping to definitely finish this one this year and potentially even try and finish it within the summer, as there's only 2 books left, so they shouldn't take me that long. Our next series is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. So I recently read Part of Your World, and so I've got yours truly and Just for the Summer left. I really want to get to this summer. I really, really, really want to get to these books. I wasn't a massive fan of Part of Your World, but so many people rave about yours truly and Just for the Summer. I have to read them. I have to see what the hype's about. So that is a series that I want to finish by the end of this year, and ideally I want to read Just for the Summer in summer. So we shall see. I'm not a massive series reader, however that is one that I do want to read in the summer. The next series we've got is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. We've read book 1, and now I've got books 2 and 3 to go. It's an interesting series. I think I've read these books before, so they're like rereads for me, but I want to see where the series goes. Again, it's not one which I'm itching to pick up. It's not one which I'm like, I have to read this year or I have to get done, but it is one that I would like to get to. Also, Just for the Summer and yours truly are on my 25 to read in 2025, so I should get to them this year. Fingers crossed. And then we have Pudding Pantry. This has got 3 books in. I've read 1, I've got 2 more to read. I really enjoyed the first one. I absolutely loved it. I haven't picked up book 2 because it's a Christmas book, and I read book 1 in January. So I'm not going to be picking up the series until the end of the year. It's really hard because you've got a Christmas book and then you've got a summer book. So I think I might be reading the summer book in December just to try and get the series finished. But I did really enjoy it, and I think if it comes up on my spinner wheel, I might just bite the bullet and read the Christmas book within the summertime, because I do love that. I love the vibes of that book. The next one we've got is the Shameless series. So we've got The Roommate and the Intimacy Experiment. I've heard such good things about, I think it was one of the books I read, I heard such good things about, and then not so great things about the other one, but I'm really intrigued to get my own opinion on them. And yeah, I'm hoping this is one that I do get in my spinner wheel, because they're 2 quite short books and they just give such cute rom-com-y vibes that it'll be nice to get them. The next one we've got is the Letters of Enchantment series. So I've just pulled Divine Rivals off my TBR for this month, and then Ruthless Vows I can get through my library on audiobooks. I'm hoping to finish this series soon, and that can rule out another series. So that one I'm definitely hoping to finish by the end of the year, fingers crossed. We then have Hearts, which is an indie published romance series. I have the first book, Shared Hearts, on my TBR for this month. So again, it's another book that I'm really hoping to get to soon. And then once I've gotten to this one, I'm hoping that I can get to book 2 relatively quickly because there is only 2 books. It's a duology, and I feel like with duologies, once you finish that first book, it's such a motivation then to move on to the second book and get through it. Sorry if the angle's changed, guys, I had to get a drink. But we then have the Taylor Jenkins Reid's Famous series. I know it's not technically a series, but they are kind of interconnected, and I feel like most people say that they're a series. So I have read 4 books. I'm hoping by the time you guys have seen this, I've read 3 books, but I'm hoping by the time you guys see this, I would have read the 4th, because I got Carrie Soto's back on Libby. And oh my gosh, if you've read this series or you've read any of the books, if you've read Malibu Rising, you will understand why after reading that book I have to read Carrie Soto's back. She makes an appearance, and the appearance she makes, I have to get to that book. But the issue I've got is I'm currently listening to Noughts and Crosses, and I need to finish that one first before I can read Carrie Soto's back. So you best believe I'm going to be reading Noughts and Crosses soon, or this week, and then I will be picking up Carrie Soto's back ASAP, because I need to know what happens. We then have the It Happened in Charleston duology. I've read The Match, I've got The Enemy to go. This is quite a short little book. I've got it available on my Kindle as well, so I'm hoping I can get to it relatively soon, and that can be taken off another series from my TBR. I'm sure you'll notice that some of the books on the TBR cut haven't mentioned in series. I think one of them is Next of Kin. We've also got Cryptic Pursuit, which is over there ready to be read, and A Pocket of Lies, and then Dead Man's Shoes. A few of them I haven't included on this list because I haven't read the first one, so I don't know whether I like it. If I have, then I will include them on. I'm not gonna just keep them off because or not read them because I haven't got them on here. I am gonna try and get to some of them this year as well, but it's just, if they're not included on this list, it's because I'm not sure whether I'm gonna like them and include them on. The Dead Man's Shoes as well, I think I am just gonna read it singly. I think it's like a 10-book series, and the thriller series don't ever tend to really like float my vibe, so we'll see. Next series, we've got DNA Duo, which is got 2 books in. We've got The Soulmate Equation and The True Love Experiment. I have just spun this one in my spinner wheel, so I'm hoping to obviously finish off this duology this month and mark that one off on my TBR. We then have The Love Detective, which we've got Love from Paris left. We've only got 1 book out of the duology left. I loved The Love Detective, and so I'm hoping to get to Love from Paris relatively soon. We then have Chestnut Springs, which again, at the time of filming this, I've got 1 book left to read. However, it's needed for a video this month, and so therefore should be finished by the time this goes out. Whether you've seen the video or not, I'm not sure, but it should be finished by the time this video goes out, so that'll be another series ticked off. We then have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I've only got the last book to read. I think it's As Good as Dead. I'm itching to get to this book because I really enjoy it, but because I read a lot for videos, it just hasn't come up as a book yet for a video. So I'm hoping in the next couple of months where I'm just focusing on series, I can get to this book, fingers crossed, because I'm so excited to get to it, and also it ticks off a series. Then we have Detective April Fisher. Again, I've only got the 2nd book to read of the duology. I'm actually in the middle of it, but I started reading it on holiday and it's very gory, which I did see on a Goodreads review actually before I started reading it, and it's very gory and it put me on edge, and then I was in a foreign country all on my own. So I'm hoping to potentially read it in little snips. I'm potentially trying to finish it by the end of this month, which will be another one ticked off, but if not, I'm in the middle of it and it's just scaring me a little bit, which is kind of what you want for a thriller, but I mean, yeah, scary times. Then you have Stone Maidens, which has 2 books in. I've read book 1. I'm intrigued to get to book 2. I'm not running out to buy it, but again, because I want to get these series down to 10 this year, I feel like a lot of the ones where I'm like, I've only got 1 left, I'm like prioritising a little bit more because I know it's only 1 book and then it's marked off, if that makes sense. So I will probably get to it by the end of the year, but it's not one that I'm like, I have to read. I feel like it's more fall vibes, so I'll probably read it in the fall. And then the last series that I am in the middle of, we've got Moonville, which has 2 books in, and I have read 1. It is not finished series yet, and I have put on my little tracker as well. I don't know if you can see, it's a very extensive tracker because I've put on there if the series is complete, how many I have left to buy, how many more are left to be, or like to be added this year, and then the release like month and date, and then if it's available on audio as well. So it's very, very complex. Not complex, but very like, I don't know how to describe it, but yes. And then, so going into the series that I have finished. So I have recently finished the Natural series, the Osman verse kind of series. It's linked together on Goodreads. So it's Alice Osman's kind of series with Heartstopper, and then you've got Radio Silence, Solitaire, Nick and Charlie, Born This Way, maybe a couple of others. It's got 11 books in. I finished them. I'm going to carry on reading the last Heartstopper graphic novel, and I think if Alice Osman comes out with any more graphic novels, I will continue to read those. However, her like written work, as honestly, as perfect and as great as it is, it's not for me. And so I don't think I'll be picking those up anymore. But I think if you're looking for great LGBTQ plus representation, those are the books you need to go towards. I just need to find that style, but in adult version. So if anyone can give me any recommendations, I know, is it Katie McKinston? The author of Red, White and Royal Blue. I know that they write very, very good LGBTQ plus representation, so I might be picking up some of their books soon. And then the next series we've completed is The Landon Duology. Then we've got the Strangers series. Powerless is finally finished. We then have the Maple Hill series for now is finished, the Housemaid series, the After series, Cheat Sheet series, The Family Upstairs, Twilight, Holes, Devil Wears Prada, and then we've got a few series that are completed for now but not finished. So that obviously includes the Osmanverse, which has got the last book in the graphic novel to come out this hopefully soon. Then we've got the Low Blacklock series, which is The Woman in Cabin 10. That one's, they've got a new book coming out in July. And then you've got the Akatar series, which obviously we don't know when the next book's coming out, but we know that there is another book. And then I've also DNF'd 2 series. I've DNF'd the You series. I read book 1. I felt it didn't really show much different from the TV series. I think the TV series has done it really well. And so therefore, I'm not going to carry on with the books. I'm sure they're incredible books, but especially with books like that, where it's very thriller and you're not sure what's going on and you don't know what's coming next, you need to read them before you've watched the TV series. I had the same issue with Gone Girl. I knew the plot, I knew what happens, so it just doesn't hit the same, and so I've DNF'd that one. And then the Galilean Quartet, at the moment I've DNF'd it, is a fantasy series, YA fantasy series. The author is absolutely incredible. She's so lovely, and I think I might pick up maybe the 3rd book when it comes out. I'm gonna see. It's kind of a softie enough for now, but it's not one that I'm gonna rush out and read. However, I might see what the vibe is on Instagram, and if she can sell me with her marketing, which she normally does, then I'll probably pick it up. But that is all the series that I'm in the middle of and have completed so far this year. Like I say, I've got 31 series that I'm now in the middle of or waiting to start. I've worked out that if you just go from the least amount of books, so if I kind of, because it's all in order of how many books are left to read. If I read the least amount of books, that's still another 36 books to read this year to be able to get it down to 10, which originally I never thought that would be the case. However, it can be doable, I feel. If I focus on series for the next, say for instance, if I read for the next 3 months, which is kind of my plan, is to focus on series, and I read my average of about 10 books a month. I'm reading slightly more. That's 30 books in the next 3 months. Like, I can read that amount. Should I see how many books I've got left to read in total? I'm really sorry. If you guys aren't interested in numbers, then this view is going to feel like boring. But I'm a numbers gal. So in total, I have 87 books left to read. Kind of, if I was to read every single book that I've got that's within a series, obviously there's a few anomalies that are here, but we just ignore them because I might read them and not like them, which is kind of my view on it, and I just don't want to add too many. That's 87 books left. We're going into June, so June, July, August, September, October, November, December. If I read purely series books, we could get down to 17 books by the end of the year. Just if I read 10 books a month, purely series books, then yeah, we could get down to 17 books. But I feel like I've got a few that are available on audiobook, and so they're always easier to get through. And so that's kind of the plan, is just to try and consume them however way I can. I love an audiobook when I'm driving around or going out for a walk, so that is how I'm going to do it. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It is a slightly longer one and a more chatty one, but let me know in the comments down below any series you want me to focus on or any series you want me to see reading in reading vlogs and stuff. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon with a more reading vlog style, and yeah, I'll speak to you guys later. Bye.